Hello, everybody. Welcome back to our IELTS Essential Vocabulary. This is part 5, so we're going to look at some more words and phrases. So you can use these words in the exam, maybe in the writing or the speaking. Follow along, and hopefully by the end you'll feel more confident with them. Okay, let's get started, and we're going to do some speaking vocabulary first today. Okay, so first today we're going to look at the introduction. Hello, my name is John, and I'm excited to take the IELTS speaking test today. Hi there, my name is Sarah, and I appreciate the opportunity to speak with you. So you can imagine that you're sat down with the examiner, you are just introducing yourself here and getting settled in, ready to take the exam. So this is a nice way to open up the conversation. Next, let's think about greetings. So you could say, "Good morning, examiner. I hope you're doing well today." "Good afternoon, examiner. Thank you for your time." So these are all nice phrases that you can use when you are greeting the examiner, whether it's in the morning, the afternoon. Now let's think about expressing gratitude. "Thank you for having me today, and I'm looking forward to the test. I want to express my gratitude for this chance to demonstrate my English skills." So it's always nice to express your gratitude or your thanks for either someone's time or the opportunity. That's a nice way to start the speaking section of the IELTS exam. Okay, the opening statement. How can you begin? You could say, "I'd like to talk about my favourite hobby, which is photography. Today, I'd like to discuss the impact of technology on our daily lives." So you can think about this opening statement, and depending on what the examiner asks you, you can have some ideas ready to go. Agreeing now. So within this conversation, you might want to agree with the examiner or with a statement. "I completely agree with that statement. It's a widely accepted fact." "I'm in full agreement with your perspective on this issue." So both nice phrases to agree. On the other hand, disagreeing now. What's an appropriate way to disagree? "I'm afraid I have a different opinion on this matter. While I respect your viewpoint, I have to disagree with it." So those are two ways you can express your disagreement. Within your speech, within your conversation, you might want to give an example. You could say, "For instance, when I was studying abroad, I faced a similar situation. Let me provide an example to illustrate my point better." Explaining. So when you're talking with the examiner, you might want to explain or elaborate on your point. What I mean by that is when people communicate effectively, misunderstandings are reduced. To clarify, the concept of climate change refers to long-term shifts in weather patterns. Describing. So you might want to do this in combination with explaining and describing. "Let me describe my hometown. It's a small, picturesque village in the countryside." So depending what the examiner asks as well, this is a great phrase to use. Let me describe. "I'd like to describe my favourite book, which is an intriguing mystery novel." Clarifying. To clarify my point further, I believe education should be accessible to all. So if you feel yourself maybe losing focus a little bit, you can rein it back in, pull it back into the point, and to say, to clarify my point further. So just to make sure that the examiner truly understands your point. Just to clarify, you're asking about my opinion on social media, right? So if you're not sure what they are asking you, you can ask for clarification, and this is a perfect way to do that. Comparing now, you might want to do this. In comparison to traditional learning, online education offers more flexibility. Comparing these two cities, New York is busier, while San Francisco is more relaxed. Contrasting, so you might want to contrast as well. On the other hand, some argue that strict regulations can stifle innovation. Contrasting these two solutions, the second one is more cost effective. You might also want to summarize your points. To sum up, effective communication skills are crucial in both personal and professional life. In summary, the main advantages of renewable energy are environmental sustainability and reduced dependence on fossil fuels. Okay, now the examiner might want you to give reasons as well. One reason for my preference is the convenience of online shopping. There are several reasons why I believe volunteering is important. Nice way to open up discussions here as well. And throughout your conversation, you might want to add information. Furthermore, it's essential to consider the long-term consequences of this decision. Additionally, let's not forget the impact on future generations. Maybe you're uncertain or unsure about something, so you can express uncertainty. I'm not quite sure about the exact numbers, but I think the percentage is significant. I'm a bit uncertain about this topic, but I'll do my best to provide an answer. So don't worry, don't fear if you're not that clued up on a topic. You can express that, and as long as you are clear that you're not too sure about something, that's absolutely fine. There's no expectation that you have all the statistics and percentages. Okay, you can also make recommendations. Based on my experience, I would suggest allocating more resources to healthcare. In this situation, I recommend consulting a financial advisor for guidance. As well as recommending options, you can also provide alternatives. Alternatively, you could choose to travel during the off-peak season to save money. There are two options. You can either take the bus or use a taxi. And as well as we've discussed, you can ask for clarification if you're not sure about something. So another way to ask for clarification, could you please repeat the question? I want to make sure I understand it correctly. I'm sorry, but I didn't catch the last part. Could you clarify what you meant? I'm going to also ask for time. Do I have 2 minutes for this task, or is there a specific time limit? So don't be afraid to check the timings of any part of the exam. Could you let me know how much time I have left to answer this question? Okay, and you can also express agreement as well. We've touched on this. You could also say, that's a valid point, and I couldn't agree more. So if you really agree with something. Another one, I agree wholeheartedly with your perspective on this issue. So this is full 100% agreement. On the flip side as well, you can express disagreement in a variety of ways. I see what you mean, but I believe that there's another side to this argument. While your opinion is valid, I respectfully disagree with it. So when you disagree, it's important to always respect the opinion. There's two sides to every argument, and you don't want to ignore the other person's point of view or the other perspective. So these are nice ways of acknowledging one side and then presenting your side. You can also express preference as well. I personally prefer reading physical books rather than ebooks. In my opinion, I would choose to live in a bustling city over a quiet village. So again, a respectful way of just stating your opinion. Showing enthusiasm. I'm really passionate about wildlife conservation and I'd love to discuss it. I'm enthusiastic about sports, particularly tennis. It's a fantastic way to stay active. So don't be afraid to show if you're really interested in something. That's a nice way to carry on the conversation. You can also show doubt and express doubt. I'm a bit skeptical about the effectiveness of this new policy. To be honest, I have some doubts about the accuracy of these statistics. We have some more options for giving examples now. You could say, let me give you an example from my personal life to illustrate my point. Allow me to provide an example related to the topic we're discussing. And you can also, intertwined with examples, you can also offer personal experience. In my experience, travelling broadens one's horizons and offers valuable insights. Based on my personal experience, learning a second language can be challenging but rewarding. And as well, you can also show the importance of something. It's crucial to address climate change to ensure a sustainable future. Recognising cultural diversity is of utmost importance in our increasingly globalised world. Okay, so now when you're having a discussion, you can talk about advantages. One of the benefits of living in a multicultural city is exposure to different cultures. Among the advantages of online education is the flexibility it offers to working adults. When there are advantages, you can also express disadvantages on the flip side. On the downside, excessive screen time can have adverse effects on children's health. Despite its benefits, remote work also has its disadvantages, such as feelings of isolation. Okay, so don't back away from expressing a strong opinion. You can absolutely do that. I strongly believe that access to quality healthcare is a fundamental human right. In my view, protecting the environment should be a top priority for governments worldwide. As well as strong opinions, you can also make general statements. In general, people tend to prioritize their family's well-being. Generally speaking, technology has revolutionized various aspects of our lives. So you can make sweeping statements as well. Adding details again, we've got a few more phrases for you. To go into more detail, I'd like to mention a specific case study. Adding more details to my previous point, let me provide some statistics so you can build upon your points by adding more details here. You can also express surprise. I was surprised to learn that the company's profits had doubled in just 1 year. To my surprise, I found that the historical site was much larger than I expected. So, talking about your feelings is a nice way to engage in conversation. And you can ask for opinions. What are your thoughts on this issue? I'd be interested to hear your perspective. Could you share your opinion on the impact of social media on society? So you might get these questions. And in general, these are nice ways in general day-to-day conversations that you can ask for opinions as well. Okay, you can refer to visuals. So if you have some visual aids, as we can see in the graph, there's a clear upward trend in sales. Referring to the charts, we notice a significant drop in temperature during winter months. And you can refer to statistics. According to the statistics, unemployment rates have decreased over the past year. The data reveals that the majority of respondents support stricter environmental regulations. You can also give an example from history. Historically, the Industrial Revolution had a profound impact on society and the economy. Looking back in history, the Renaissance period was marked by cultural and artistic achievements. And you're more than welcome to mention a famous person if you want to. As Albert Einstein once said, imagination is more important than knowledge. Quoting Mahatma Gandhi, you must be the change you wish to see in the world. So you're welcome to quote and mention famous people, if relevant. And you can talk about current trends as well. Currently, there's a growing trend of people adopting sustainable lifestyles. In today's world, there's a noticeable trend towards online shopping. And of course, you can talk about future possibilities if you want to. In the future, we might see advancements in technology that we can't even imagine today. Considering future possibilities, renewable energy sources could become our primary power supply. So talking about the future shows a real range in your perspectives and your conversational skills. You can state a fact as well. It is a well-known fact that climate change is a global issue that requires immediate attention. As a fact, the Earth revolves around the Sun, which was a groundbreaking discovery. So something that is well known, understood, you can state it as a fact. And along with this, you can express necessities as well. It's essential to prioritize education to empower future generations. Recognizing the necessity of clean water, governments must invest in water purification systems. And you can also make a prediction if you want to. I predict that in the future, electric cars will dominate the automotive industry. Looking ahead, I predict that advancements in artificial intelligence will revolutionize various industries. And of course, with all of this, you can talk about your own personal experiences. In my own life, I've faced similar challenges and learnt valuable lessons. Drawing from personal experiences, I can relate to the struggles of finding a work-life balance. And we've touched on this before, but you're welcome to ask for clarification at any point. You could be specific. Could you clarify what you mean by cultural diversity in this context? I'm not entirely sure I understood the term carbon footprint. Could you explain it? And you can make and give a general example. For example, in everyday life, people use smartphones for various tasks. Taking a general example, food delivery services have become increasingly popular. And you can also join the dots and make a connection as well. This reminds me of a similar situation I encountered during my travels. Drawing a connection to our earlier discussion, this concept aligns with the idea of sustainability. So taking different bits of the conversation and making connections is a nice way to carry on the flow of the conversation. And you can contrast points as well. In contrast to that viewpoint, some argue that strict regulations can stifle innovation. Contrasting these two solutions, the first one prioritizes speed, while the second focuses on quality. Okay, and then to wrap things up, to conclude, effective communication skills play a vital role in both personal and professional life. In conclusion, the impact of technology on society is multifaceted and continues to evolve. Okay, that's a nice way to round up the conversation and this video as well. So we've come to the end of those words and phrases that you can use in your conversations in IELTS and also day to day as well. So I hope you enjoyed that video and we'll see you in the next one.